Thank you for watching. In today's class, I'm going to show you a warm-up flow that you can use to start a longer workout, or you can use it as a standalone yoga class, just if you have a couple minutes in your day to get some movement in. We'll go through a variation of sun salutations A and B and really work on improving our form so that way when you join me for other yoga classes, you feel like you have a little more confidence and you know what you're doing. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're actually going to come down to the mat and start in child's pose. So go ahead and open your knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes to touch. Lengthen through your arms. Allow your forehead to rest either on the mat. If you wanted to, you could grab a yoga block. You could even just have the forehead hovering over the floor. And as you breathe here, I want you to breathe into the sides of the body, the backs of your ribs, and the front of your ribs. So thinking of that breath moving in three-dimensional space. You can even start to recruit the belly, allowing the belly to press into the thighs as you inhale, and then scooping the belly away from the thighs as you exhale. You're getting a nice stretch all the way through your hips, up through the back, all the way down through your arms. So this is your home base. If you ever get a little too caught up in your head and you find yourself distracted in class by other things that are on your to-do list, other things with school and work, or just, any little distractions, you can always come back here and think of this as returning to home. Similarly, if you get winded during class and you just need to take a little rest, take a moment for yourself, you come back to child's pose. One more breath here. And then inhale, look towards your hands. Shift your hips up, walk your hands underneath your shoulders, and we'll move through the spine. We're going to move through spinal extension and spinal flexion, working through our cat and cow stretch. So your cow stretch, you're trying to lift your tailbone and the top of your head high, pulling your tummy in and arcing through your back. And then exhaling, you're going to round, pulling the tummy up and in. And again, the tailbone and the top of your head are trying to meet, but now you're looking towards your belly button. Inhale to look forward, shoulders draw back and down. Exhale through cow and cat, waving your spine up and down, right? Trying to make that extension and flexion a nice fluid transition. Try not to dump the weight of your belly, but keep your belly button pulling up and in the entire time. Now, if you wanted to have fun with it and take a little motion from side to side, stretching through your obliques, you could also shift from hips to shoulders. Got it. Let's take about 2 more breaths here. You could even start to add those two together. Inhaling, circling the spine around, through your cat and cow, and through that lateral flexion. If you're taking those circles, let's go ahead and go the opposite direction, just so that we're nice and even. And one more here. And then go ahead and find yourself in a neutral position. From here, I want you to tuck your toes, and you're going to hover your knees for your knee lifts. You're hovering your knees about 1 inch off the mat, holding here, actively pressing the floor away from you, holding for 3, 2, and 1. You're going to pick the hips up towards the ceiling, push the mat away, reach your heels down towards your mat. Of course, your heels do not have to touch the floor, but you're actively reaching them down. Plugging the shoulders back away from your ears, pulling ribs and belly button back and in. Let's go ahead and pedal through the knees here, adding a little bit of movement to the legs. You can even start to bend knees towards the center of your mat, And continue with that side body stretch. For 3, 2, and 1. Lengthen through both legs. Inhale to look towards the hands and step the feet forward. As many steps as you need to until your hands and feet meet. Inhale, you're going to lengthen through the back of the neck, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale to fold. Release the head, let it hang nice and heavy. Maybe even grab a hold of opposite elbows as you let your head sway from side to side like it's shaking no. And then let it nod forward and back like you're saying yes. Release your arms down towards the floor. Soften into your knees, scoop through your belly. Slowly roll up to stack your shoulders over your hips and lengthen through the top of the head. Alrighty, moving through our first variation of sun salutations. Inhale, arms will lengthen up and overhead. Exhale, hands come through your heart. Tuck the chin, lengthen the arms, roll it on down. One vertebrae at a time, scooping through the belly. Your hands can find the floor, soften through your knees if you need to. Inhale to lengthen, bringing your hands to your shins, your thighs, or the floor. Exhale to fold. You're going to press the hands into the mat, step the feet back, and lower down onto your knees. Press your hips forward, walk your hands underneath your shoulders, and let's lower down one solid line. So I'm going to lift my feet so that way I feel my abs working a little bit harder. You're going to lower one solid line from the tip of your nose to the center of your heart to the belly button. Lower down and then release the feet. Walk your hands forward, forearms pressing into the mat for a cobra or a little sphinx stretch. The shoulders will draw back and down towards the hips. You're actively pressing into the feet and reaching up through the crown of your head, thinking of lengthening through the back as much as you are lifting up. Release the head down. Walk your hands back by your shoulders, and then let's push the mat away. Lift the knees and the hips and find your down dog. Now your down dog, remember your knees can be bent. From here, inhale, look at forward towards the hands and step. Feet up towards the hands. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale to release. Soften through the knees, scoop and roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. Stacking shoulders over hips. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hands come to the heart, release, nod the head, roll it on down. One vertebrae at a time, like you're unpacking your spine. Hands find the mat, step it back, hold your plank position. A little more challenge here, holding your plank for 3. Lengthening through the spine as you actively push the mat away. Holding for 2. And 1, you can lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower down, nose, heart, and belly button. This time we're going to lift a little higher. Draw the shoulders back and down. Lift, bending into your elbows, pressing hands into the floor. Bend into the knees, send the hips back. Lift the knees, pick the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale to look towards the hands. Walk it up. All right, we got that down. We're going to add on. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to roll it on up. Arms lengthen up and overhead. This time press the hips forward as you bend the elbows and look up towards the ceiling for a little back extension. Inhale to lengthen, find your neutral. Exhale, swan dive forward with a flat back. Release, grabbing on 2. Anywhere you can onto the legs, the thighs, the calves, the heels. Hug yourself in a little bit closer. Lengthen through the back side of your neck. Inhale to lengthen through a flat back. Exhale to fold. Step it back into your plank, adding on from your plank. I want you to walk your hands a little bit closer. Walk your feet apart, tapping the edges of your mat and alternating here. Keeping the hips nice and level. If you needed to, you could do this with your knees bent, reaching the knees out to hover towards the edges of your mat. Otherwise, you're in your plank, toe taps for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your plank, lower the knees, lower down tip of the nose, chest and belly button. Inhale to lift up even further. This time, can you lengthen your arms? Press down through the entire tops of the legs. Exhale, bend, send the hips back. Lift the knees, pike it up into your down dog. From your down dog, inhale to look forward towards the hands. Walk the feet up to your hands. Exhale to fold. Hands will come to the shins or the mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Hands come to your heart. Pull the belly in. You're going to lift from your hips up with a flat back, reaching your arms out like wings. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, baby back bend. Little back extension here again. Reaching your heart up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the hips to come down. Hands can either be at your heart or long out like wings. Pulling the ribs in as you lower down. Release the head. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Last one. Walk out to your plank. And then from your plank, open your feet nice and wide. You're going to take your hands and alternate, tapping your opposite shoulder. Now what I want you to resist is rotation in the lower body. I don't want your hips to be shifting. If that happens, I want you to come down to your knees and try to keep the center of your body nice and still. You're not rotating just because you lift that hand. Alternating shoulder taps here for 3, 2, last one, either side. Find your plank. From plank, reach through the top of the head. Option to lower down through chaturanga. You're going to lower down through one solid line so that the tip of the nose, center of the chest, belly button, and the tops of the thighs meet the floor at the same time. Inhale to lift up through your up dog. Pressing down through the tops of the legs. Pressing into the palms with straight arms. From here, tuck the toes, send the hips back. Lift the knees off of the mat. Finding your down dog. Inhale to look forward. Step, hands to feet. Exhale to fold. This time, bring your hands to your heart, and you're going to sit into your chair pose. You're going to send those hips back behind you, bend into your knees, and find your chair. Shoulders draw back and down. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Pressing into the floor, lengthening up, finding your mountain pose, standing nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen the arms up and overhead. Exhale, chair pose. Sink back into that imaginary chair. Pull the belly button up and in. You're making a lightning bolt shape with the body. From here, inhale, stand nice and tall. Exhale, back extension. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, swan dive forward with a flat back. Inhale to lift up through the top of the head. Exhale to fold. You're going to step back 1 foot, 2 foot, lower down the knees, or lower down one straight line. Inhale to lift through up dog. Exhale to flow into down dog. Option to lift from your forward fold. You can always just step it back into a down dog, or from your plank, you can always just step it back into a down dog. From here, you're going to take your right leg, lengthen up towards the ceiling. Whoop, don't run into the wall. Lengthen up towards the ceiling. Bend that knee in towards your nose, and then kick it back. Same leg bends, comes in towards the right. kick it back. Now towards the left, bend, cross it over, and kick it back. Now you're gonna step it right foot next to right hand. Turn out through the back foot so toes are pointing towards the edge of the mat. Inhale to lift up and find your warrior one. You have a deep bend into that front knee. Shoulders are stacking over hips. Walk the back foot in. Find a comfortable stance with the feet. Shoulders and heart are facing forward. Inhale to hold here. Opening to warrior two. You're going to bring your hands to your heart. You're going to pivot on the back left foot. Keep the bend in that front knee. Open up for warrior two by reaching your arms out nice and strong, pushing the space away. From here you reverse. You take your left hand to your hip, bring your right hand, reach it straight up. Avoid arcing and dumping back, right? I want you to reach straight up, keeping the bend into that front knee. Bring your hands back to your heart. Pivot by lifting that back foot to face front. Find your crescent here. Your back knee lowers and lifts. Two more. Lower and lengthen. Lower and lengthen. Hands come to your heart. Hinge forward. Hands find the floor. Make sure you have space. You're going to step your back foot up into the air to find your half splits. Kundalini squats. You're going to bend into both knees. Take your left foot back to the right of the mat and lengthen up to your standing splits. Bend into both knees and then lengthen through both legs. Again, right foot is on the mat, left foot taps off to the right side and lengthen. Last one, bend and lengthen. Setting the left toes back down. Press into the mat. Find your plank. From plank, either lower the knees or lower down one solid line. Inhale to lift up through up dog, lengthening through the back of the neck. Tuck the toes, find down dog. Inhale to look towards your hands. Step it up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to release. Hands come to your heart, chair pose. You're going to bend into your knees. Looking forward, sitting into that chair, pulling tummy in, lengthening through the back. Hold here. Take airplane arms with that chair. Reaching arms forward, swimming through water to circle the arms back and down. Inhale, reach the arms forward, push the air away, circle them back and down. One more time, reach the arms forward, out, back, and down. Inhale to stand tall, press the hips forward. Exhale, elbows draw back and down as you look up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, find that flat back hinge, pulling the belly up and in to support the spine as you lower down. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Press your hands in towards your mat. Step back with left foot. Step back with right. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale through up dog. Exhale into down dog. Now your left foot lifts. Draw it in, scooping out the belly straight down the middle of your mat. Press it back. Draw it in towards left elbow. And exhale to reach it back. Opposite side. Crossing over the mat towards the right. Step it back. Now bring it in. Stepping left foot next to left hand. Turning out through your right foot. Inhale to open up through warrior one. Holding here. Pressing down evenly through both feet. My back will turn to you so you get to see what it looks like on the other side. Hands come to the heart. Pivot on the back foot. Keep the bend into the front knee and open up to warrior two. Stacking your shoulders over your hips. From warrior two, bringing right hand to the hip. Left hand in, lengthen, left arm up. towards the ceiling. Hold. You are reaching straight up as opposed to arcing over. Lengthening through your spine. Hands come back to center. Pivot to face the front. Pivot on the back knee. So now back heel is lifted. Arms will lift up. You're going to lower down that back knee and lengthen. Lower down into your lunge and lengthen. 2 more. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Last one. Lengthen. Hands come to your heart. Tip it forward. Hands find your foot on the mat. Walk your foot back so that it's right underneath your hips. Standing splits. Reaching that leg up into the air. Kundalini squat. Right foot taps towards the left and lengthen. Tap it back. Cross it over and lengthen. 2 more. Bend and extend. And last one. Bend and extend. Set that foot down. Hands find the mat. Step your foot back. Lower down your knees. Send your hips back behind you and find your chair pose or your child's pose. You could find chair too, I guess. Find your child's pose. Allow your knees to open nice and wide. Reach your arms out forward. Reconnect with that breath. This is your little break. And then from here, you can continue on, adding on another yoga flow, or maybe this is where you pause, you move on into some stretching. Either way, as you finish off your breathing here, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining me for a little movement.